Hey everybody, welcome to this three-way welcome call and vision casting Zoom. So tonight we are covering a ton. So get ready to write really fast. I have a PowerPoint because I know it's a lot of information, but three-way calls, y'all, will truly change your business. So what I did is I compiled the questions that y'all asked. Some of them you'll see are embedded in the presentation. Some of them are word for word spelled out. So hopefully I got everyone's questions and we'll go from there. So let me share my screen. Oh, I just saw, oh, here we go. Actually, y'all, I think I can see who's in the waiting room. So this will be good. Okay. Play from start. All right, perfect. I can see the waiting room. This is good. We're in business, y'all. All right, so three-way calls, 411 is what I'm calling it. And basically, there we go. Basically, we get to do a little bit of fill in the blank, right? Like we're in school again, super fun. So what do you all think the purpose is for three-way calls? I can't see the chat, so y'all try to guess, but it's to what? To a 6-letter word. Starts with a C. I'll just pretend I can see the chat, but I can't. It's to connect, okay? So the purpose of three-way calls is to connect with others. The next one is to offer third what? Yep, I saw Renee mouthing it. Third-party validation, good. Okay, the next one is to give realistic what? Saw Rachel Griffin on that one. I only have a few people on my page. Yes, give realistic expectations. The next one is build what? Build their belief. Ding, ding, ding. And the last one is plant what seeds? Business. Good. Okay, so out of all of those, I want you to put a star next to ones you're not doing. So maybe you're not planting the business seeds right now. Maybe you're not giving those realistic product expectations, right? So put a star next to that so you can really hone in on that for your next call. Alrighty. Before jumping on the call, you want to do your homework, right? So you're going to go to their page, you're going to analyze their Facebook page, look for any pain points specific to the business. So are they talking about just getting done with maternity leave and they want to stay home with the kids? Are they saying, oh goodness, you know, the weekend went by so fast again? So analyze their page, look for pain points. Do they have business potential? If they do, write down the specific potential you see in them. Do they have a following? Are they bubbly and excited? Do you think they'd fit in with the community? What is it about them that you think they could be really good at the business? And just an FYI for when you're jumping on calls, y'all, it needs to be a back and forth conversation. So if you're finding that you're doing all the talking, that is not okay. It is going to be a lot of you're sharing something, you're asking a question, you're validating, and then going from there. So another thing I like to share with people is these calls aren't black and white. So as much as I want to give you a word for word script tonight, any of my level ones know that I don't have a script because I change it up depending on the person. So I kind of have a format that I follow, right? The same structure, but as for what I'm saying, it changes person to person. So you really want to individualize these calls. All right, so try to figure out their color personality, right? If you have not read the color personality book, do yourself a huge favor. It is this big, it is tiny. It's like less than 100 pages, but it's literally called Color Personalities for MLMs. And I will hand out this chart to people if I'm not sure before my call. Say, hey, by the way, Heather, I'm just curious, what color do you best relate with on this chart? So then I can understand, oh, she's super blue. Okay, that means I'm going to share XYZ. I'm just going to do a quick overview of the colors. But basically, red, think of Christina Williams, right? Very driven, go-getter, all the goals, all the money, all the prizes, all the sprint contests, right? So if you're talking to people who are red, you're going to think of Christina Williams, right? If you are talking to people who are blue, you're going to think of Emily, right? I have some blue in me too, so you can think of me. Blues, you want to talk about the travel, the community, the fun that we have. Blues are all about that, social life, basically. Yellows, you're going to think of Terry. She comes to mind, right? Yellows are our lovers. They are so sweet. They are so genuine. They love helping others. So yellows don't care as much about the money. They truly just want to help all their friends. So you're going to use the word help a lot. Also, you could share with the yellows all the nonprofits, right, that we sponsor with Plexus, or that we give meals away when, lean shakes are purchased. And then green is the last color personality. Think of Brittany Howard. We're going to think science, facts, all the info. And you'll know when you have a green on the phone because they're going to ask a bazillion questions. And that's okay. They may have already asked them before they signed up, or they may think of them, before their box arrives. So keep in mind color personalities when you are jumping on the call with people. All right, so when to do the calls? People ask me that all the time. You really want to capitalize on their excitement, right? As soon as they click that enroll button, they're like, oh my gosh, I just enrolled. Like, I just saw the confetti stream. I'm so excited, right? So capitalize on that. Get them on the phone. I try to do within 24 to 48 hours after they've signed up. And y'all, I do try to get them on the phone before their box arrives, because it's so much different when I'm saying, hey, Allison, I'm so excited that you got started. Your box is going to arrive probably within the next week. I do have some things that I want to share with you to help you get all of your results met, or all of your goals met with Plexus. When do you have 15 minutes so we can chat? And guess what? It's taking it back to her, right? And her journey. And she's understanding that, she has some more information with me that she needs to share, right? And then obviously there's more things and products that we're going to go into in the call. All right. Now, for my friends who are blue like me and love to talk, do not exceed 15 to 20 minutes. And here's why. Your person will have checked out, right? You're wasting your breath at that point. And when your team is growing, y'all, and you have tons of joins coming in several levels deep, you will not have time to do more than 15 to 20 minute calls. So keep it brief, keep it short, don't go over the time limit. The next question is, well, who do you do these calls with? Is it every single new join? Absolutely, every single new join. Y'all, even if you don't think they have business potential, or they don't have business potential yet, again, this is going to build that rapport. They're going to connect with you. They're going to feel like you're a real person, right, outside of the computer. It's going to help with retention, and it's going to start to build their belief. So every single new join of yours should be on the phone. So how exactly do you get them on the phone? Right? I have a lot of people saying, well, it's just so hard to get them on the phone. Well, you need to build up the value of the call. Bring it back to them and their results. I am so excited that you got signed up. I can't wait for you to get help with those sugar cravings, with your sleep habits. That is okay, right? Bring it back to them, y'all. And if you're going to share that your friend's jumping on, you can say, when do you have 15 minutes in your schedule to jump on a call with me? I'm so excited to help you get your results met. And then she gives you the time and you figure it out and you say, hey, Oh, by the way, my friend, don't use the word sponsor, it's super salesy. My friend April is also going to jump on. And y'all, that's where you connect the dots between your join, right? If you're doing it with your sponsor, your join and your sponsor. I can't wait for you to hear April's story because she's a boy mama too. Or I can't wait for you to hear April's story because she's a military spouse too, right? Try to draw the connection. Or I can't wait for you to hear April's story because she too had crazy mood imbalance. And that way it's going to add value back to them and they're going to understand what this is going to be for them. And then y'all, don't give them a choice to jump on the phone. Don't ask them, quote unquote, if they want to do a call. I think back, if Tina would have worded it that way about Christina jumping on a call and us doing a three-way call, I probably would have said no, right? So basically you want to bring it back to them. Why is this going to be valuable to them in their time? And then connect the dots. If your sponsor is jumping on, say my friend is jumping on, I can't wait for you to hear her story, or she's a boy mama like you too. Connect those dots for them. All right, so if you are doing calls with your downline, basically what it's supposed to be, y'all, is the upline models multiple calls, right? With their level 2s, sometimes a bit deeper. And the job of the level 1, who the sponsor is leading the call, is to take notes. Now, y'all, I didn't say to multitask. I didn't say to be in the background. I didn't say to put your phone down and half listen. No, you're sitting down, you're taking notes, you're listening, and you're muting yourself, right? So there's no background noise. And then y'all, what happens is it's gonna shift, right? So your upline is not supposed to be doing calls for you forever. It's basically a few calls, and then the level 1 is gonna try leading their own calls. And y'all, if your upline is saying you're ready to lead your own calls, that is really, really exciting. That means they trust you to do your own calls, right? So after a few calls, level 1 is going to try leading their own calls. And that's where the upline can sit in the background hidden, right? And can quietly listen, can provide feedback, any things that they think, hey, maybe we should have asked this, or hey, you went over the time limit, it was 30 minutes, just feedback that they can give, right? And y'all, after that, after the upline sits in the background on a few calls, if the level 1 is still not comfortable with the calls, that's where the upline needs to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to assign you some homework because at this point you probably should be feeling comfortable. Why don't you go dig in the team page and find some sort of resource? Check out a video specific to a three-way call, ask them if they've written their script, different things like that. Work on their own belief, right? If they're wavering a bit, because y'all, you can really tell when someone doesn't have full belief, if their voice is wavering or they seem really not confident on the phone. And then y'all, the upline should be jumping on. So after this point where, the person is feeling comfortable with leading their own calls, right? This is where the upline then jumps on calls with people who have business potential. But they're only going to jump on if you have already casted vision. You've already planted some seeds. Maybe you've had them watch a video just so they have a bit of skin in the game before your upline spends some time continuing to cast that vision. So I wanted to make sure everyone was straight on calls with your downline. Okay, now here are some direct questions I got. How do you spark engagement with someone that is giving one-word answers or just doesn't seem all that interested in what you have to say? So this is where I will attempt to re-engage. Maybe ask them a question, something that's going to get them talking again. Y'all, at times, if someone is so distracted and I have them on the phone and I can't even think clearly anymore because there's so much background noise, they just seem distracted, I literally will say, hey, Jenny, I'm just curious, is this the best time for you to do this call? Or do you think we should go ahead and reschedule it? Y'all, it's okay to do that, because when you are doing these calls, it is really important that you're building that rapport, you're connecting with them, you're loving on them, right? So it's okay to put the ball back in their court and say, hey, I'm just curious. You seem a bit distracted. Is this the best time to do the call, or do you want to go ahead and should we reschedule it? The other thing is, y'all, if you're not really getting that engagement, maybe they don't feel connected to you, right? Or connected with you, I should say. Maybe it's a personality clash. So sometimes people are just a little bit more quiet. If you have me on a call, I'm going to do a lot of talking, right? Because it's my personality. So give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they're just quiet and sitting back because they're taking it all in. Especially our greens, they're doing a lot of processing, a lot of thinking, a lot of putting the pieces together. So a lot of times it's probably not you and how you're leading your calls. It's just that either they're distracted, it's not the best time of day, maybe they haven't connected with you yet, like you didn't ask them enough engaging questions at the beginning, or it could just be their personality. Okay, what to say to pique the interest of someone who is quiet or not into the conversation. So here's very similar, y'all, but what I would ask yourself is a few questions. If you're getting this and they're just quiet, they're not involved in the conversation, it's just really awkward. First thing is, well, how did you sell this call to them? How did you connect with them at the beginning? Or did you just like go into the call and didn't even connect with them or ask them how their day was? Are you talking too much? Maybe you're not even giving them the chance to say something, or maybe the call is getting too long. Tell them that you want to hear from them. Ask them really good questions. Give them the opportunity to speak. So that means you had to be quiet, right? So there's a reason why at times people are quiet, not into the conversation. So I'd ask yourself those questions and then go from there. How do I gauge their desire for the opportunity? And if it's there, what are the first steps? So I want to bring this back to you and your journey, okay? And you could even put this in the chat if you want to, although I can't see it. I'll pretend I can. Did you first have desire to be a business owner? Was your desire there for the opportunity? Were you into plexus right away? Probably not, right? But how did you become open to it? Probably the belief that your sponsor had, right? They probably shared some sort of tool and they planted seeds on a call with you. Y'all, so what's going to happen is you're going to present the opportunity every single call, but it'll depend how far you take it with each person. And we'll go into that here in a little bit about what questions to ask, how far to go, all of those things. What if the business side of things doesn't come up? Should I just wait to plant those seeds? Again, y'all, a lot of these questions were very similar, which is exciting because I think you guys are going to get a lot out of this tonight. Should I wait until they have their own testimony? So again, no. Do not wait to bring up the business side of things. It is your job to initiate the business conversations. Like Emily was sharing last night, you should already have planted business seeds during your recruiting process. If you are not, your person is missing out on hearing more about the plexus opportunity. And then y'all, it could look like sharing your business story first, right? Building their belief and then asking a good question. And y'all, when it comes to feeling like your people have to wait for a testimony, I didn't wait for my testimony. I got started sharing right away. And the reason being is I knew that after the call that I was on, the three-way call, if I was consistent with my products, if I was open to communication about how I was feeling, then I would have my product testimony too. So let them know, hey, you can go ahead and share my testimony. And then you need to be confident, right, when you share this with them. And that way, y'all, you can let them know, hey, I'm going to help you have your own story to share. But in the meantime, why don't you go ahead and share my story? Or why don't you share my friend so-and-so's story? What do you lead with when presenting What do you lead with when presenting someone already in network marketing? Okay, I think I missed a word, y'all. But basically, they're saying, how do you lead with, the business when someone is already in network marketing? And here's the thing, y'all. I typically acknowledge that I know they're already part of another company. So I'll say something like, once I get them on the phone, I'll say, hey, Susie, I know that you share street nails. Oh, hold on.
I'm not sure I understand.
Siri just thought I was talking to her. Okay, I'm going to change the name. Hey, Jenny. Where was I? I know you already share color street nails, but I did want to let you know that if you do decide to have a few accountability partners, you're looking at X amount of money by just having a few accountability partners, right? So acknowledging, hey, I know you're already part of this company. That's okay, right? But I did want to let you know there's opportunity to make money without y'all being salesy, being pushy, and do not try to convince them to switch over to our company, right? I think about it as if someone else were messaging your leaders on your team and they were trying to convince them to switch over, right? We don't want to do that. That gets really slimy. But what we can do, y'all, is let them watch your journey, right? And typically, by you being successful, that's going to bring up questions. Or they're going to say, hey, I really like the community that you're with. So with you being successful, that's already going to get their wheels turning when it comes to why plexus is the best opportunity. All right. When would you transition from getting the products covered to talking about big business opportunity? What cues would you look for? So this is a really good question, y'all, because at the beginning of my business, I was using that all the time on my calls. I would say something about, hey, we could get your products covered, right? Because at that point, I wasn't thinking big. I wasn't dreaming big. I wasn't believing in myself. So what happens, y'all, is when you use the term get your products covered, it caps their vision right there. It stops them from believing. It stops them from dreaming. And y'all, it's not exciting, right? When someone says, oh, you can get your products covered. Yeah, that's cool. But what's going to be exciting for them? Here's where stalking their Facebook page is going to help, right? What's going to be exciting to them? Maybe it's saying, girl, you could totally be at home with your kids. Or y'all could pay off that debt that you've been talking about. Or I know y'all love to travel. What if you could travel 3 or 4 times more each year? Or, oh my goodness, you just went through college. I feel you. I did the same. How about we get those loans paid for? Or I see you have 3 girls. You're probably saving up for weddings already. What if I could help you do that so much faster? Y'all, isn't that so much different than saying, let's get your products covered? It gets their wheels spinning. Again, it makes them think bigger than this box of products that they're trying to get covered. So I don't use that term really with anyone anymore. All right, when it comes to casting vision with others, what's your most valuable tip for coming across boldly and confidently? Here's the thing, y'all. If you don't believe, and I'm talking the products, the opportunity, MLMs, and yourself, there's the 4. If you don't fully believe in all those things, like through the roof, your voice is going to waver. You're going to look nervous, or you're going to sound nervous. If you're on a Zoom, you're going to look nervous. You're going to sound nervous, and you won't come across as confident and bold. So literally, y'all, this is such a simple answer. You work on your own belief first. And y'all, if you're over there saying, I have all the belief in the world, let's do this thing, I'm all in, but you're still not doing 3-way calls, you're not all in. You don't have full belief. And so I'd start asking yourself some questions. And y'all, at the end of the day, sometimes we mask skill set for mindset, right? If you're saying, oh, I'm just not doing the calls because I don't have time, or I don't know how to do them, at the end of the day, if you keep digging deeper, is it really skill set or is there some mindset going on? So be true to yourself, share it with your upline, and they can help you to dig deeper. And y'all, as you keep doing calls over and over and over again, because this is something you will continue to do, even as you're a diamond, you're going to feel more confident. So start by making yourself a script. I've told y'all, I literally read it word for word, every single call, and then I tweak it as needed. And then I started to feel more confident and I didn't need that script. So here we go, y'all. Here's the money-making questions that I ask. Okay, what are good questions? This is what someone asked, to ask or to find out their pain points without sounding nosy. Okay, so question number 1, we have all heard it. If you're not asking this question, you are missing out. Okay, if your bank account were overflowing, you had nothing on your calendar, what would you be doing? And then I take it a step further. I say, well, how would this look different than your day-to-day life right now? So they have to literally think about, how would this look if I put it into action? All right. Question number 2. Again, you've heard the question, if you could wave a magic wand and change anything about your life, what would it be? I find that my blues really like this question for some reason. So that's question number 2. All right, question number 3. This is the one that Emily posed last night. Have you ever thought of using social media to bring in extra income? Or I think Emily worded it as, have you ever thought of doing something like I do to bring in extra money? Either question would be fantastic. Y'all, these aren't salesy. These aren't nosy. If you feel like you're being nosy, then you're probably not wanting to change your friend's life. Right? Because at the end of the day, I would bet if you're asking yourself, why am I doing this call? Why do I see potential in this person? It's because you truly care about them. So don't let that mindset get in the way of telling yourself that you're being nosy, because that's just not true. Question 4, if you were to use social media to bring in extra income, how would this bless your family? Right? How would your life look different? This is usually a good question for my yellows because they love the idea of blessing others or blessing their family. And again, this is going to get their wheels spinning. Okay, and last question. So typically, y'all, questions 1 through 4, I'm asking 1. I am not asking all these questions on the call. We'd be on for an hour. So pick one question, 1 through 4, specific to who you're getting on the phone with. And then you're going to follow up with question 5. So after you've asked questions 1 through 4, you want to validate why Plexus can help them with that. Do they want more time with their kids? Do they want more money? Do they want to travel more? Validate it and be confident that Plexus can help them with that pain point. And then we're going to go on to question 5. And you just say, that's amazing that you just shared that with me. What do you think would hold you back from jumping all in with the opportunity side of things? And y'all, you better be ready to handle objections. And here's the thing, objections are not scary once you know how to handle them. And we'll talk about that here in a tiny bit, a couple slides down. But basically what you're gonna wanna do is validate. She says, she feels like she doesn't have enough time, validate. How can she fit it into her busy schedule? Or why do you think she can be successful even though she doesn't think she can? Or why do you think she can make more money than her current job, right? So be able to handle those objections. Here we go. How do you address, this is kind of similar to the other one, but I wanted to add a little bit more. But how do you address the objection of people who have been in other MLMs and they've had a bad experience, right? So maybe they're not currently working their business, but they're closed off to the idea of the business side of Plexus. So again, it's important, let them watch you succeed. Let them watch your journey. If you're posting about the business opportunity on your page, they're watching you, right? So make sure that's included in your branding. Share with them why you see potential and be vulnerable. Let them know, hey, I know you've done this company before and it didn't work out the way that you wanted to, but here's why I think you can do plexus with me. And y'all, a lot of times those other companies don't have support like this. They don't have the leadership. So that's huge alone. And then they don't have the culture. So those are all things you can sell to them. You can also see if you can add them to the Dare to Dream page. There's great videos in there. I love Lori Welch's video that's pinned at the top. You can also share a diamond that comes to mind, Sonia Dudley. She did Mary Kay for a very long time, y'all. And then she transferred over to Plexus and she obviously killed it. And she's a diamond now. So just know that there's different stories that you can share with people. You can be a bit vulnerable and still say, you know, the potential that you see in them. All right, let's talk about those objections. So you do need to be able to handle every single business objection. But here's a good thing. You'll always get the same handful of objections. So once you figured out how to handle them, you have them forever. And how I look at objections, y'all, is as stepping stones, right? It's not necessarily these hindrances. They're not these obstacles. They're literally stepping stones to, okay, I see that you believe in me. I see that you think I can be successful, but, right? But, and that's where you're just going to answer their questions basically. So if you're not comfortable with handling objections, Get Over Your D Self. That book has a whole chapter. Now, if you have not read the book, you need to read that cover to cover. That book will change your business forever. Also in Plexus Freedom Team, there's 12 Excuses of Christmas. That's a video series that you can go through specific to each business objection. There's also, y'all, there's tons of materials, but I just highlighted a few. There's also Handling Objections, a Monday Night Live that Britt did in March of 2018. That will be really helpful. So again, immerse yourselves in the selves into the tools and be proactive versus sitting back there and saying, I can't do it because I don't know how to handle objections, right? Be proactive and figure out how to handle them because you're going to have to figure it out at some point in your business. So sooner than later. How do you share that Plexus is different than any other company out there? So I will never compare. You will not see me going and digging like, okay, she has this company of products. I'm going to quickly go and dig, or she's talking about the opportunity and she's saying I'm debating between these two. I don't play that game. I don't say, oh, let me go do some research for you. Don't have time to do that, right? So never compare. Instead, what we're going to do is you're going to share why we're the best. Why do we have the best company? Why do we have the best compensation plan, right? Why do we have the best community, leadership, products? The list goes on and on and on. So use third-party validation tools and let them do the speaking. Share some sort of tool you find about the comp plan if that's what they want to know about. Share more about the products and the quality if they're wondering about the products, right? But don't play the game where you go digging and trying to figure out why we're better. Right? You don't have time for that. So never compare, but you can definitely share why we're the best company. And it's going to start with your posture, right? And your excitement, because that's going to bleed off onto your people. How do I call someone to action? Several people had this question on a vision casting call. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is you will not call people to action every single call. Did y'all hear me? You won't call them to action every single call. It's going to depend person to person and what they're sharing with you. So if you have inspired them on the call, once you do call them to action, if they've been open, right, to the business, and we'll talk about being open in a second. Once you call them to action, guess what? If they're inspired, they're going to take it. If you've handled those objections, they're going to be ready to go if you've inspired. If you have not inspired, you probably haven't handled their objections. Maybe you beat around the bush, right? Maybe you didn't know how to handle the objection, and they probably won't take action yet, or it could be a timing issue. Think about Christina, right? It took Brittany a full year of presenting the opportunity in different ways to her, even after she had an amazing, amazing product story. So just keep going and planting those seeds, y'all. Don't feel like the call needs to be this one and done. All right, doing the call, gonna cast some crazy good vision, and they're gonna jump all in with the business. That's not always it. This could be the very first step with them hearing about the business or being more open to doing it with you. Okay, if there is business interest on their part, what is the best way to end the call? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what I was just sharing. And to best, I can't see the word. What's the word? Hold on. Best initial plan of action for them. Okay, so if they're open, you're going to give them an option. So I'll typically say, oh my goodness, Mary, I'm so excited that you're open to getting started on the business side of things. I give them a choice. Are you more so the person that if I give you a little blurb to tweak and put up on your wall, would you post a cute selfie of yourself and put that up? Or are you the type that likes to connect with your friends privately? Again, I'll give you a little blurb to share with them, and you can either text them or you can send them a message privately. Which one do you prefer? Right, y'all? You are in charge of helping them succeed. So if they're open to it, I definitely would be giving them an option of, hey, here's where we can get you started to get making some money. And y'all, you're not being pushy, right? You're helping them be successful. You're helping them reach their goals. You're helping them dream bigger, right? And so it's really important that you do help people get to silver as fast as you can. It is very important because if you don't get them to silver fast enough, they're going to say, well, it wasn't for me. I guess I can't do this after all, right? So help them get quick success. All right, if they are not taking action or they're not yet inspired, that's okay. Don't take if they say, no, I'm not open to it. When you're planting, you're asking those questions, right? Or they're saying, oh, I've never thought about doing something like this before. That's okay. You can still send diamond docs once in a while. You can send them. I love Michelle Stuchel's video, Why Network Marketing. It's in her YouTube channel. She does a really good overview of network marketing, basically specific to plexus. You can invite them to Team Vision Cast. You can share with them why you think they can do this and why you see potential in them. Get them in that Dare to Dream group again. Tag them in some stories. So as y'all are hearing, a lot of these questions overlap. A lot of them have the same underlying things that you can do with others to inspire them. All right, y'all, we're almost done. After your call, when you do circle back around to them, or when do you circle back around to them reaching out and sharing to friends? Okay, so you've got done after the call. I honestly say it at the very end of the call. If they're very open to it, I'm going to go ahead and get them started, right? And then immediately after the call, I'm in their inbox. Now, this doesn't matter if they're open or not open to the business. Immediately after a call, I always thank people for jumping on the phone with me because y'all, they took time out of their day, right? And that just goes to show that you're grateful, right? You're showing gratitude basically. So thank them for spending time talking with you. And then I go ahead and I take it a step further. Hey, Mary, I know you said that you were wanting to put a post up. When do you think you can get that up by? Or, hey, Mary, I know we talked about reaching out to 5 of your closest friends. When do you think you can reach out to them by? Figure out how to hold people accountable and stop dropping the ball. Because if you're dropping the ball, y'all, you will not be able to produce silvers because they cannot do this alone. So if you have to write it down in your planner, put a note in your phone, set an alarm. Okay, Mary said she's putting up her post tomorrow. Put something down so you don't forget. And y'all, If you're finding, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh yes, I'm going to get that post up. Or, oh my gosh, I just haven't had the time yet to make my list. Or, yeah, I'm going to sit down tomorrow. And you're still getting all these excuses. It's not time. Y'all, if they're not taking action, there's something holding them back. It's usually the matter of handling an objection again, or it's a belief issue, right? So if you're finding time and time again, Mary said she was open to putting up the post, or she was open to connecting with some friends, then you're going to address the elephant in the room. And you just say, hey, Mary, I know we've been going back and forth about that post you wanted to throw up. What do you think is holding you back from getting that up? Or, hey, Mary, I know that we were talking about reaching out to 5 of your closest friends so we can help them feel great on a daily basis. Again, what do you think is holding you back from helping them feel better or from reaching out to them? And again, she's going to have an objection and you speak to it. You offer third-party validation if you need to. Oh my goodness, my friend felt like that too. You should take a look at her video and look where she is now. She's a diamond in the company, right? Let the tools do the talking for themselves. Okay, friends, hold on. I don't want to go there yet. Okay, so you need to understand, y'all, and then we're at the very end. You are planting seeds. And a lot of times this is maybe the first exposure to the business that they've had, maybe the second, right? And not everyone's going to be willing to take action. And that does not mean that you suck at casting vision, you didn't ask the right questions, you're not good at calls. No, it could literally just be a timing issue, okay? So take that weight off your shoulders. It is important that you do the calls, y'all. And not everyone's going to catch the vision, period. Not everyone's going to catch the vision right now, right? There's that timing aspect again. And another thing is too, that not everyone's going to be willing to get outside their comfort zone. So don't expect everyone to jump in on the opportunity side of things when you're doing the calls. Now, there is definitely a higher percentage of people being willing to go silver and beyond when you are on the call with them. Because there's just something about y'all not being on a computer where people are so much more open. I have level ones all the time when I'm leading a welcome call. They'll say, oh my gosh, or they'll text me during it. She didn't share that with me. I had no idea she struggled with that, right? It's just things that come out over the phone. So that's why it's so important to do these calls. And y'all, basically, your goal is to help them dream bigger, to get their wheels turning. Why can they do this with you, right? So do not overcomplicate these calls. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, here's your homework. Are you ready? I want you to ask these questions to yourself. And if you can't answer them now, go ahead and write them down, and I want you to reflect later. But who do you need to get on the phone? Maybe you've been dragging your feet with one of your new joins, or you skipped over someone, anyone who you didn't want to get on the phone, or you think they quote unquote don't have potential. Maybe there's some of y'all out there who you're picking and choosing who you're doing welcome calls with and who you're not doing welcome calls with, right? For your new joins. Why are you doing that? Is there some sort of belief issue that you have when it comes to three-way calls or two-way calls, right? At this point, all my calls are with my own joins, right? I think it was once I hit Ruby, Christina no longer did calls with me. How could this drastically change your business, y'all? If you're willing to do some digging, figure out how to handle objections, write your script down, right? What is this going to do for your business, y'all? The duplication is going to take off, especially if you take Emily's call last night and this call, holy cow, we're going to have some major fast rank ups. And then it's so important, y'all, to not just do this alone. Your team needs to be doing welcome calls too, needs to go all levels deep. So how can you help to make sure your team is duplicating three-way calls as well? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, yeah, no way, not me, right? 10 being, oh my gosh, let's do this now. How willing are you to start initiating calls with your new joins? Because y'all, I bet there's some people on this call who your upline has been saying, you're ready to do your own calls, but you're just not doing them. And you have to start somewhere, right? So where are you at on that scale? And what is your posture when you're leading the calls? Are you timid? Is your voice wavering? Are you nervous, scared, not sure what to say? What are you like when you're doing these calls? Or maybe when you're thinking about doing the calls since you're not doing them yet? Or are you excited? Are you being professional, right? Are you bold? Are you happy? All those things, y'all, that can really change up the atmosphere of a call. And the last thing is, this is my favorite part. Abby and I stayed up late Saturday night and we literally recorded, we role played 2 whole welcome calls for y'all. And what we did is we didn't talk, we didn't tell each other anything because I wanted this to be like totally random calls. So we didn't plan anything. We had no scripts. It literally was, we just went with it. And so I want y'all to watch those, to analyze them, to share them with your team, get them excited, y'all, because if you're willing to start somewhere, then your team's going to be willing to start somewhere and you guys will see that momentum. So go watch those 2 YouTube videos, probably not tonight, it's late, right? But put it on your to-do list for this week. But that's going to really help because I know people are always saying, well, I want like some sort of video that literally gives me scripts or gives me things to say, or, you know, how do I interact with people authentically? Is that a word? Genuinely, authentically? I don't think that's a word. Anyways, so yeah, that is all I have tonight, y'all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and stop the recording.